Now these sites have not lost their horror with the passage of time. As we were walking up, Ellie said, "If these trees could talk." And there's a certain irony about the beauty of the landscape and the horror that took place here. More than half a century later, our grief and our outrage over what happened have not diminished. I will not forget what I've seen here today. I've known about this place since I was a boy, hearing stories about my great-uncle. Who was a very young man serving in World War II. He was part of the 89th Infantry Division, the first Americans to reach a concentration camp. They liberated Arodra F, one of Buchenwald's sub-camps. And I told this story. He returned from his service in a state of shock, saying little and isolating himself. For months on end from family and friends, alone with the painful memories that would not leave his head. And as we saw some of the images here. It's understandable that someone who witnessed what had taken place here would be in a state of shock. My great-uncle's commander, General Eisenhower, understood this impulse to silence. He had seen the piles of bodies and starving survivors and deplorable conditions that the American soldiers found when they arrived, and he knew that those who witnessed these things might be too stunned to speak about them or be unable to find the words to describe them. That they might be rendered mute in the way my great-uncle had. And he knew that what had happened here was so unthinkable that after the bodies had been taken away, that perhaps no one would believe it. And that's why he ordered American troops and Germans from the nearby town to tour the camp. He invited congressmen and journalists to bear witness and ordered photographs and films to be made. And he insisted on viewing every corner of these camps so that, and I quote, he could be in a position to give first-hand evidence of these things if ever in the future there develops a tendency to charge these allegations merely to propaganda. We are here today because we know this work is not yet finished. To this day, there are those who insist that the Holocaust never happened. A denial of fact and truth that is baseless and ignorant and hateful. This place is the ultimate rebuke to such thoughts. A reminder of our duty to confront those who would tell lies about our history. Also to this day, there are those who perpetuate every form of intolerance, racism, anti-Semitism. Homophobia, xenophobia, sexism, and more hatred that degrades its victims and diminishes us all. In this century, we've seen genocide. We've seen mass graves and the ashes of villages burned to the ground. Children used as soldiers and rape used as a weapon of war. This places teaches us that we must be ever vigilant about the spread of evil in our own time. That we must reject the false comfort that others' suffering is not our problem and commit ourselves to resisting those who would subjugate others to serve their own interests. But as we reflect today on the human capacity for evil and our shared obligation to defy it, we're also reminded of the human capacity for good. For amidst the countless acts of cruelty that took place here, we know that there were many acts of courage and kindness, as well. The Jews who insisted on fasting on Yom Kippur. The camp cook who hid potatoes in the lining of his prison uniform, and distributed them to his fellow inmates, risking his own life to help save theirs. The prisoners who organized a special effort to protect the children here. Sheltering them from work and giving them extra food. They set up secret classrooms, some of the inmates. And taught history and math and urged the children to think about their future professions. And we were just hearing about the resistance that formed and the irony that the base for the resistance was in the latrine areas because the guards found it so offensive that they wouldn't go there. And so out of the filth, that became a space in which small freedoms could thrive. When the American GIs arrived, they were astonished to find more than 900 children still alive. And the youngest was just 3 years old. And I'm told that a couple of the prisoners even wrote a Buchenwald song that many here sang. Among the lyrics were these. Whatever our fate, we will say yes to life. For the day will come when we are free, in our blood we carry the will to live, and in our hearts faith. These individuals never could have known the world would one day speak of this place. They could not have known that some of them would live to have children and grandchildren. Who would grow up hearing their stories and would return here so many years later to find a museum and memorials and the clock tower set permanently to 3:15, the moment of liberation. They could not have known how the nation of Israel would rise out of the destruction of the Holocaust and the strong. Enduring bonds between that great nation and my own. And they could not have known that one day an American president would visit this place and speak of them, and that he would do so standing side by side with the German. Chancellor in a Germany that is now a vibrant democracy and a valued American ally. They could not have known these things. But still surrounded by death, they willed themselves to hold fast to life. In their hearts they still had faith that evil would not triumph in the end. That while history is unknowable it arches towards progress, and that the world would one day remember them. And it is now up to us, the living, in our work, wherever we are, to resist injustice and intolerance and indifference in whatever forms they may take, and ensure that those who were lost here did not go in vain. It is up to us to redeem that faith. It is up to us to bear witness, to ensure that the world continues to note what happened here. To remember all those who survived and all those who perished, and to remember them not just as victims. But also as individuals who hoped and loved and dreamed just like us. And just as we identify with the victims, it's also important for us, I think, to remember that the perpetrators of such evil were human. As well, and that we have to guard against cruelty in ourselves. And I want to express particular thanks to Chancellor Merkel and the German people. Because it's not easy to look into the past in this way and acknowledge it and make something of it. Make a determination that they will stand guard against acts like this happening again. Rather than have me end with my remarks, I thought it was appropriate to have Elie Wiesel provide some. Reflection and some thought as he returns here so many years later to the place where his father died. Barack Obama. Message to the people of Burundi. Delivered November 13, 2015. Amahoro. Peace. Today, I want to speak directly to you, the people of Burundi. Burundi's a proud and beautiful country. But in recent months, the future of the land you love has been put at risk. Leaders have spewed hateful rhetoric. Terrible acts of violence have taken the lives of innocent men, women, and children. From Burundi's painful past, we know where this kind of violence can lead. Today, you have the chance to choose a different path. And you're not alone. For many years, your partners in the region, and the United States, have worked to help you build a peaceful and stronger country. I speak to you now as your partner and friend. To Burundi's leaders, now is the time to put aside the language of hate and division. Follow through on your commitment to participate in an internationally mediated dialogue outside of Burundi. After all, real strength is the ability to unify a country, not tear it apart. To Burundi's military, you represent Burundi's ability to overcome divisions and unite. You are Burundi's sons and daughters. You've helped keep peace across Africa. Now you can help keep peace at home, by staying out of political conflicts and protecting the people of Burundi. And to all Burundians, remember what you can achieve when you stand together. How you emerged from colonialism and built a new nation. After civil war and strife, you've worked to rebuild. You've seen the possibility of a better, more peaceful future. Don't let political rivalry, or the voices of hate, take that away from you. You are one people, and now is the time to stand against violence, and to begin the hard work of uniting. The future of your country, the future you want for your children, is in your hands. Miracos Kane. Thank you very much. Barack Obama. A New Beginning, speech at Cairo University. Delivered June 4, 2009, Cairo, Egypt. And edited for continuity. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I am honored to be in the timeless city of Cairo. And to be hosted by two remarkable institutions. For over 1,000 years, Al-Azhar has stood as a beacon of Islamic learning. And for over a century, Cairo University has been a source of Egypt's advancement. And together, You represent the harmony between tradition and progress. I'm grateful for your hospitality and the hospitality of the people of Egypt. And I'm also proud to carry with me the goodwill of the American people. And a greeting of peace from Muslim communities in my country. Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you.